All right, everyone, welcome to Craps. If you're watching on the HAPPS.TV app or website, well, hello to you. I'm sorry you've got to endure such a terrible technical experience as the lifeboat comes in here to the port where I am in England. Where am I? Hi, Diva Dwarf. Thanks for joining us as well as everyone else. Well, this is an impromptu broadcast. I certainly, if I'd have thought about it too long, I wouldn't have been using Craps. I'd be broadcasting directly to the much more respectable when it comes to the development of them, social media platforms and live video and all. Oh, yes. Oh dear. Yes. Some of us find it difficult doing broadcasts in the past as opposed to the future. So I'll certainly be moving forward as I am in a very constructive way. That's for sure. I was going to sing to you, everyone, actually, on here, but then I realised I obviously can't sing, and it would have just been rather, well, a torment to your ears, I guess, really. But hey, when there's not much else happening, I certainly won't be playing you Michael Jackson, Madonna, or any independents for that matter. Just keeping it more real, more original. As we head along to the main marina part of this port, you see some wonderful boats very shortly. I have to say I'm not too comfortable on this broadcast, and again that's because I'm having to overthink everything in as much as not just as we do what we say, but the technology. You're always waiting for it to just fall over, particularly when it has a track record of doing so. So I think we'll just, as I say, skip the that sort of interim and, or the middleman. That's what I'm saying. I will end up broadcasting soon directly. I mean, at the moment, we're directly to the social media platforms is what I was going to say, where they are stable and reliable. That is the point. And the worst thing about it is, and I'll mention it now, whatever I'm on about, is the fact that the wheel has already been invented. So if you choose to design a new car today, you don't really need to think about whether it should have 5 wheels or 3 or 2. Well, we know that you're pretty much safe going for 4. And all the code in the background when you're developing an app, well, again, it's nothing new really. Okay, code evolves, becomes better, more reliable. For those of you that are involved with IT and internet website development, for example, the days of HTML and very basic static websites have really quickly become content management systems, CMS. Of course, WordPress taking over the world because of user demand, really. No, it's not necessarily the best one. And for the record, I would debate Joomla is one to consider, as well as WordPress. And certainly not Wix. It's good, but you try moving away from Wix and keeping your website looking the same, but wanting new web hosting because it's more affordable. Forget that. Right, let's get back to the marina. This is actually my first visit here in a very long time. A very, very, very long time. And I could stand here all day checking out the boats. But that's not why I'm here. As I mentioned just before, it's an impromptu visit. See, the other thing I was rambling on about is with the technology, you've got enough to worry about when you have to think and check, is the battery on its way out on your digital device? Do I need to connect to a different power source? Otherwise, this broadcast is just going to end as the device switches off because you've run out of juice. So what with that and thinking about what you're saying, because it has to be relevant, And we're creating in the moment, a lot of us mobile broadcasters, certainly. By the way, you see, I'm almost forgetting. I'm walking on a road, and this is down to the harbour, but not any old road. Look at this, yeah? It's rather decent. Almost forgetting to share that with you. There you go. This is a great part of England where I am at the moment, working on a brand new project. No coincidence that it has to do with live video and streaming and making sure that you are able to connect with all the local creators here when it comes to business, art, music. Oh, that's a good one. Yesterday, I was entertained and taken aback by some of the local talent here, actually, when it comes to music. All original stuff that we will be able to share with you here online, but not necessarily on the crapshaps.tv platform. No, that wouldn't do it it would do it injustice. Yeah, plenty of other people down there. I want to go back to the Isle of Wight. Yeah, actually, I'm actually closer to the Isle of Wight now than I have been on many of my other broadcasts in the past. I'm that much further south, or to the southeast, actually. Again, just looking out at the main harbour entrance over there. See, as I try to zoom in carefully, obviously we've got some brainless person that's actually developed this little interface here, because when you click on the mobile version to zoom, the button to zoom, where you have to sort of slide your finger, where you press first of all, it's so close to the bottom of the screen, and I'm using iPhone for the record, that when you are very careful and just gently press it up, it actually worked that time, but you've got to think twice, and you haven't got time to think twice. You shouldn't have to think twice. Put the effing, that's frigging button somewhere else, because if you don't think 3 times before you press that, another menu comes up to do with your actual device, the control center for iPhone, and it's more than frustrating. You just want to give up there and then, really. And even when you zoom, I mean, I'm not even pressing it much at all. All I've got to do, if I break wind, look how irregular, how jilted and nasty that zoom is. Sooner that someone buys this app and develops it, or should I say redevelops it, as it should have been right from the start, the better. Guys don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, and we're all entitled to our opinion. The difference is everyone's entitled to mine as well. Right, what a wonderful day. Sam Cooke, no, we won't be playing that either. Copyrighted, don't have the license right now. I'm interested to know from anyone out there who plays music on these platforms how they get away with it. More to the point, which license they actually have their hands on at the moment, and that they bothered to procure in order to ensure that such copyrighted material can be used and everyone's happy. The creator, the performer, and the user at the end of the day. Hey, look down there, there's the old, is that the Ship Escape I see there, is it called? Just next to all those flowers. Look, plenty of flowers for sale down there. As I mentioned earlier, this is very impromptu, otherwise I would certainly be ready for, when I say an awesome broadcast, something that I knew in advance I was going to bring you in terms of content. Hope you're enjoying the boats though. Thanks for watching the replay, by the way. Can't forget you. Cannot forget you watching the replay. Can't forget them either, look down there. And despite it being pretty much a very cloudy day to start with, you can see that the blue sky is breaking through. I hope you can. If you can't, wouldn't surprise me on this, again, the fact that we're originating this, producing it on, I'm not going to mention the name again. Many David Allen moments with your upside down flag. What's the reference there, David Wolf? I'm sorry, you've lost me there. Why did you reference that there? Don't tell me the picture's upside down and this is a broadcast for Australia and New Zealand. Maybe not. It's going to brighten up, you know. It's definitely going to brighten up. There's a microclimate down here where I am. And, now I can't really show you. Ah, yes, I can now. There we are. So I'll move the camera. Well, there's some restaurants just above where I was showing the flowers. You see the flowers again just a moment, but there's a just up there the street. You can just see above there. So you can look out on the harbour from that Italian restaurant. There you go, just up there. But then you miss out on the flowers there. You can't see those flowers from up there. But you do have a very nice view, completely different, of course, of the harbour. Hello, Tonya. Thanks for joining from California. This isn't quite Long Beach, particularly if you look at the sky and you can see it's a bit grey compared to what it usually is there on the Pacific coast. Oh yeah. This coast, what we can see out there, that waterway is, or to the left it would be the North Sea, but it's actually the English Channel. And the particular direction I'm pointing the camera in right now, if you really want to be pedantic, is Belgium, and I'm always forgetting the name of Holland. France is more kind of there. All right, and I didn't expect to bring you with me here. I didn't even expect to be here myself. In this part of the town centre, but the high street is just around the corner, as we can see the bus exiting one of the main areas for public transport here. No, but we need the rain so badly. The clouds look great. Oh, there you have some more clouds. I'd send them to you if I could. I'd rather we were rid of clouds for now. Of course, we're at the tail end of summer now in England and across this part of the world, but we're doing okay. And I think we still have some decent sunny days to be had at the beach, particularly at the beach that I'm going to bring you loads of content from. It's the next town from this one, and that will be happening over the next few weeks. Don't forget to share, like, and follow, particularly if you are someone who likes to support local businesses and creators, that sort of thing, because I'll be bringing you plenty of those over the coming weeks and months. And through the winter, people can find it difficult as creators, particularly artists I'm thinking of right now. I'm going to be working with a handful of really great artists, drawers, and musical artists as well, for that matter. So do share, like, and follow, whichever platform you're watching on. If you're watching on Craps, which is strangely missing a couple of letters at the beginning of its brand. But yes, haps.tv is their website and app, of course. And then, more importantly, you should be following us, please, on Facebook, maybe on YouTube, maybe Twitter, maybe Twitch as well. Loads of places are broadcasting these days, because you never know where people are going to be. So we have to make sure that we are where you are, and then you won't miss a thing. The best place to watch, though, and join the community that we'll be slowly joining and building is, I would say, Facebook. Yeah, Martin Shine Live. And then from there, you'll be heading over to other links that will take you more specifically to everywhere I'm going to be and all the other various broadcasts I'll be involved with. Now, I'm going to take a chance here and head up a street that looks interesting. I wouldn't be taking up one that didn't look interesting. But the question is, will the signal hold out? I think it might do. And please forgive me if I'm not responding to your comments immediately, but it's such a task to do. I didn't ask you at the beginning of the broadcast. I'm sure you would have told me by now, though. But please tell me that the broadcast is working well in a horizontal fashion and it's not on its side, the picture, or anything like that. Hopefully Diva Dwarf, when she made a comment a short time ago, wasn't referring to the fact that actually the picture is somewhat not quite straight. Look, what we've got in here. Loads of stuff in here, see. I'm not going to take you in there right now. We'll meet this gentleman another time. But right now, we've got other things to do. And see, while they're waiting for the bus, plenty of people are making their eyes smile by checking out what's in the window of that shop. Oh look, many people like to see a red phone box, particularly if you're an international viewer. I know you like the views of phone boxes, pillar letter boxes, and all. Right, there's the marina, back across the street. And let me check your comments very shortly if you're waiting patiently. Thank you for a response. Oh, right. Again, the seafront, or the road at least, continues down there. Picture is good. I'm falling asleep though. Work was busy today. Sorry to the content is making you fall asleep there, David Wolf. So I'll be showing a British car show next week. Tell us more, Tonya, please do. Where could that be? Which part of California is having such a convention or expo? Right, let's head up here. I say quickly because some of you I know have plenty of things to be doing. It's called Living Life, and I've interrupted it in a way. Well, you've chosen to join the broadcast, and I'm appreciative of that. But of course, there is a replay to watch. You must remember that you may be watching the replay. You may not be one of the people watching live right now, but well, it's right now if you're replaying it, if all that makes sense. Oh, old sweet shop there. Pub, bar. We're going to go into the town centre. Then I'm going to have a little drift out again, out of this town to the next town. Loads to do, loads to sort out. Thai restaurant over there, is it? Yep. The Thai village. Working in a hotel has its benefits, though. I get discount accommodation for friends and family. Good, David. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. Oh, there we go. See this terrible is the Haps app. And the sooner, well, the sooner they sort out their RTMP stuff, then we won't need to complain about them so much anymore. We can use a completely different app to produce on. That's the other thing I didn't mention earlier and haven't done in the past, but that's the problem. They're being gatekeepers at the moment at HAPS. They're not allowing people to produce on such softwares as, let's say, OBS, because everyone knows OBS or OBS, Streamlabs OBS. That's a very popular one for people in the know with live streaming. But you can't use those to broadcast to HAPS. Why? Because it's their way of controlling their community, making you join HAPS the only way to broadcast, which is quite sad, really. But the desperation, the fact that they don't have trust and faith in their product, because if it was fantastic, they wouldn't need to control users in that way. They'd say, hey, if you want to broadcast on something else, do. But you know what? Our producer is so awesome, you won't want to do that. But the fact is, they know it's SH1D. Got to stop getting on my pedestal there. But you know what? Well, if they're not going to listen, the team, maybe they'll listen to this content because they can't delete it. And if they want it to stop being broadcast and people promoting how poor the service is and the product, then, well, you've got to improve it, haven't you? Then I won't have anything to moan about. Boom, boom. And I'm not the only one. There's always a ton of cars on display. We have a Reliant Robin that we show. Really, Tonya. But I don't know if you know the British show from yesteryear called Only Fools and Horses, a comedy program, and which was on the BBC, which I'm sure you know that brand and broadcaster. Well, they had a yellow Reliant Robin. Yeah. And everyone remembers that one, that is familiar with that program, and everyone from the UK. All, well, of a certain age, let's say, 40 plus at least, will remember the program and the characters, such as Del Boy, the main character, and Rodney, and Grandad, and Uncle. It's interesting how often these people don't realise just how much enjoyment they bring to so many people as well. and what an influence they have on people's lives. Certainly when it comes to having a good old chinwag and talk. Yeah, like this might be of interest to you. Just the side of this building, just noticed it's got a little bit of architecture that is somewhat decorative and away from the norm, shall we say. What was the name again? The program, Tonya, was, if you're talking about the program I was referring to, that is Only Fools and Horses. BBC program. You'll find it instantly if you use your favourite search engine. And if you like British comedy, as a very good friend of mine does, Stuart, he's probably not listening to this, but if you like that humour, then check it out. British comedy. Right. It's very quiet here today. I'm almost forgetting that that it's not a Sunday. That's probably because yesterday I was just flat out working and just the day sort of didn't happen to me because I was at a local bar where they had a jamming session, load of musicians, and I met someone. Here's an exclusive for I met someone, a couple actually, of musicians. They play together, and one in particular, I think they are going to be a mortal that you really will want to listen to. One of these people that when you listen to what they have to say, you just want to hear more. And I'll leave it there really, but it was almost a surreal moment because every now and then you do meet someone who you just connect with, and I did. And well, the music, if nothing else, is absolutely awesome. And the sooner, it's almost, it's not, look, it's almost like these flowers, only better. They're on their way out a little bit. I don't know if you can notice that, they've been there for a while, it looks like. But the music that I'm talking about is so, it couldn't be further from on its way out. Someone waiting to be discovered by the mainstream and many more people. And we're going to help that journey along the way very soon, I feel. Anyway, enough about that. What about you? What are you saying to me? Pretty. What? Oh, Tonya. Right. I can't believe it's so quiet here today, actually. It's eerily quiet. The more I'm thinking about it, I'm going to walk this way, once the car's past us, of course. There we go. And, well, the best way to walk always is putting one foot in front of the other. But of course, I meant this way, as in this direction. Take us back to the town centre-ish, kind of, which will be to the left again in just a moment. I'll tell you one thing that's noticeable is that the air, as I'm speaking to you through this whole broadcast, it just is different to the city. Of course it would be. It's so less toxic. We are right on the coast. It's breezy. We have that certain smell off the sea. And it's one of those things where after walking around for half an hour, as I have been with you guys and girls, then it's like, as we do that, so it's only after a while I have to actually consciously say to myself, something's different here. What is it I'm sensing? There you go, there's another interesting building, isn't it? That'll be Chatham and Clarendon Grammar School. How do we know that? It says so on the label. Right there. People hurriedly Googling now, looking online. Where is that place? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, that's another terrible thing about the app that I'm using to produce this video directly from right now. They call it Haps, but we know it's Craps. And you can't rewind the video easily on there if you're watching the replay. And also, of course, if it's live, you certainly can't do anything but watch it as it's live. You see, again, YouTube, they got their SH1T together. Oh, I wish I could say that word, but they have. YouTube, they got their shit together, and there you go. See, long time ago. See what I did there? Because now, if you're watching a live video on YouTube and various other platforms and websites and players and streaming technology, you can instantly replay. So if you just missed something on YouTube, you can just press a button if you're on a desktop and go back 10 seconds, another 10 seconds, and forward and backwards, and pause it if you have a phone call. And after a minute on the phone, you can go back to the broadcast and you haven't missed a thing because you can continue where you left off, which is very useful. Time shift, as they used to call it. Here we are. I was saying we're going to head back towards the High Street, Main Street, centre of town, and it is just in front of us. I can see. Didn't realise it was this far away. I thought I'd have been back into this area in half the time it's taken me, but hey, we did stop briefly. It was outside the school. What are you saying to me now, people? Oh, again, I've just pressed something on the screen and it's absolutely useless. Oh dear. The sooner they close the tap down, the better, actually. Did I say that? Yeah, I did. The sooner they close it down, the better. They're clearly not going to, they're not too intent on improving it. But the sooner they improve it, it would be a good thing. Obviously, can't be a bad thing that, but they're not going to improve it. So the sooner they close it down, the better. Why? Because then everyone won't be wasting their time on another app that didn't even need to exist in the first place, really. Particularly as their business model has changed. I must mention that. See, originally, apparently, Hats was for people to break news stories, which is kind of ironic when the mobile version doesn't really work, never has done properly. And that's what you'd focus on, isn't it? If you were think about it, you're an app. You're an app. You're a platform that is intent on having people use your service when there's a breaking news story. Well, most things happen, news stories, away from your desk. You're outside. If there's a fire, heaven forbid, on a building, you know, if there's a road traffic accident, they happen all too commonly. But if something's happening and it's breaking news, it's often not inside the news the news office, the newsroom, the news environment that you work in. So what's the point in making sure that the desktop version is stable over the mobile version? I mean, if the mobile version works, it will work anywhere, in your office or outside. So it does beg the question that, is this really a hobby? Which I firmly believe it did start out as, really, and wasn't taken too seriously, which is why they're kind of now trying to up their game, but it's almost too late. They're chasing their tail, rebuilding the foundations that, quite frankly, should have been built in a decent way in the first place. So yeah, just knock it all down, start again. That's what I say. But the fact is, it's not needed. You already had YouTube to broadcast live, Facebook to broadcast live. What was wrong with that? Everyone else has managed up to now. Why fix a problem that doesn't exist? You can broadcast anything on Facebook. You can broadcast anything on Twitter live now, as it used to be Periscope. You can broadcast anything live on YouTube. You can broadcast anything live on Twitch TV. But oh no, someone somewhere thought, I can do better. A bit like the difference between McDonald's and Burger King. But at least they have slightly different products there. They do manufacture something where you can actually compare the two side by side and say, well, that's different, and that's different. Yeah, but ask yourself, what are others that exist failing at achieving, and how can you bring that to the table? How can you make it happen better and in a way that the user far more enjoys and prefers? And don't forget, while I'm a user here of a broadcasting platform, the actual end user is you listening and watching. It's even quieter up here, isn't it? More quiet. No, quieter, that's the one. Right, what's happening here? Have to get ready for work now. Lovely to meet you too. Do follow us here at Tonya. You'll be one of the first people to learn when and where I'm heading to in order to ensure a better service can be used. And as I said, it'll probably be directly Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, among others. Right. And on that note, again, I say thanks for watching, Tanya. Also, Diva Dwarf. Well, I think it's Tonya, isn't it? Of course, most people must slip up and just go for Tanya to start with because it's a much more common name. But, ooh, I'm just seeing ahead that it's getting busier. That'll be because there's a big grocery store supermarket to my right, and that'll be very popular. Plenty of people. That's one of the more, you would say, upmarket brands, actually. Car park's full.